It began with a solitary envelope. No warning, no sender, just Christine's name, scribbled in ink that had all but disappeared with age. One folded letter and a picture of the Brown family many years before, except for something being off. 5 women stood by Kody, not 4. She had initially believed it to be some sick fan hoax, until she looked at it, the handwriting on the letter. The very same looping handwriting she'd witnessed only one other time, hidden within an ancient journal Kody had sworn he'd incinerated. And below that handwriting a message, "You don't know the full story." Within hours, speculation flared online. A missing wife? A cover-up? Why had TLC never revealed her face? The letter alluded to hidden bank accounts, erased footage, and a woman who once occupied the position where Robin did. Christine's hand shook as she noticed the postmark was from Flagstaff, the same place Kody still resided. She instructed herself to tear it up, to forget it. But she knew better deep down. If this letter was authentic, it would ruin everything: the show, the family business, and Kody's carefully constructed empire. So Christine made a decision. She would open up the past, even if it cost her to break herself all over again. But what she didn't realize was that by opening that letter, she'd just ignited a war that could never be reversed. What if the truth you were never supposed to see was in your own handwriting? Christine reads the letter long after the ink has finally stopped trembling in her hands. Page has a scent of stale perfume and dust, the kind that sticks to old memories. She runs her thumb over the faint smudge in the corner, realizing it isn't dirt, it's a fingerprint. And suddenly she feels as though someone's watching her, even now. The house is silent. Too silent. Her phone vibrates once, then again, as alerts pour in from fans still analyzing her last social media post. They believe she has moved on. They believe she is free. But tonight, gazing at this letter, Christine feels the very same paralyzing fear she felt within the Brown family home. She flips the envelope over repeatedly. The Flagstaff postmark sears into her brain. Who would mail this? Why now? And what did it mean? You don't know the full story? Her mind wanders back to the beginnings. To the times when there were still smiles for the cameras, when Kody would sermonize about love and harmony, and the world believed that they were visionaries of faith. But where there were smiles, there were locked doors, hushed-up fights, and nights where the silence between wives had been louder than Kody's voice. She once believed in destiny. Now she only believes in evidence. Christine takes her laptop and begins searching. Marriage certificates, land deeds, anything that would shed light on what this letter is suggesting. For an hour, she comes up with nothing. Until one name comes up in an old court document: Evelyn Harper Brown. The surname freezes her. Brown. She's never heard of her. Not once in 20 years. Not in the family's history, not in Kody's stories, not in any of the public records TLC shared with the press. Sometimes the most dangerous secrets aren't the ones people tell, they're the ones they erase. Christine's heart thrills as she discovers that Evelyn Harper Brown was a recorded legal spouse of Kody for less than 6 months, over a decade prior to the start of the show. And then nothing. The file blanks out, sealed, locked away in redactions. She slams her laptop closed, gazing at the dark screen at her reflection. How many deceptions had she lived alongside without being aware? Was Evelyn a real person or a paperwork specter? The next morning, Christine decides to visit someone who might know more: Mary. She hasn't spoken to her in months, not since that awkward reunion when Mary pretended everything was fine. The drive to Mary's bed and breakfast feels endless. Wind pushes against her car as if the universe itself is trying to stop her from going. Mary greets her with that familiar, cautious smile, the kind that never makes it to her eyes. "Christine," she speaks slowly. "I didn't expect you." "I wouldn't have come if it hadn't been important," Christine answers, producing the letter from her purse. Mary's face changes as soon as she sees it. Her hand shakes just a little. "Where did you get this?" she whispers. Christine pauses. "It came in the mail. Yesterday." Mary turns away, her face compressing. You shouldn't have opened it. The words run a shiver down Christine's spine. You know something, she charges. Don't you? Mary takes a shaky breath. I know enough to tell you this. Some stories were buried for a reason. If you dig them up, you won't just hurt Kody. You'll hurt yourself. But Christine sees the fear in Mary's eyes. It isn't concern, it's guilt. When a man tells you not to dig for the truth, it's because they already know where it's buried. Christine drives off without another word. The sky is dark by the time she turns into her driveway. The envelope remains on the passenger seat next to her, a quiet passenger on her increasing obsession. In her home, she lays it all out on the table, the photo, the letter, the printout of the court record. Her hands rest above the phone, wanting to dial Janelle, perhaps even Robin. But she resists. No one can be trusted until she learns what is real. Then, something she hadn't noticed before catches her eye. On the bottom of the family picture, under the colored silences and frayed edges, there's a ghostly image in the mirror behind them, a figure out of focus, half in sight. It's a woman standing just beyond the border, looking. Her heart thuds in her ears as she zooms in. She can't make out the face, but the shape, the position, even the necklace, it's a match for someone she recognizes from a photo somewhere. One of Kody's old friends from Utah. Christine's air is cut short. The mystery woman is not a stranger. She's someone they knew. Someone who was never intended to be part of their narrative. She looks back at the letter again, reading that same line over and over. You don't know the full story. For the first time, Christine whispers aloud, then I'll find out. Because sometimes finding the truth isn't about curiosity, it's about survival. And as she turns off the light, unaware that a car is parked across the street watching her house, Christine doesn't realize. This isn't the beginning of her search. It's the beginning of someone else's game. The next morning arrives heavy and gray, the kind of morning where the light feels tired before it even touches the curtains. Christine hasn't slept. Every creak in the house felt like footsteps, every passing car like someone watching. She keeps replaying Mary's words in her head. You shouldn't have opened it. Coffee grows cold undisturbed next to her computer while she searches once more. Evelyn Harper Brown. No different. As if the net itself has forgotten her. But then a forgotten thread catches her attention. Early sister wives rumors. The fifth wife theory. Post is 12 years old, lost under rumor, but one remark catches her attention. Evelyn was real. She lived with them before TLC signed the deal. Christine clicks the username, it's been erased. There's only one response left. They made her disappear. Her hands tremble. She can practically hear Kody insisting the family had always been truthful. But the further back she scrolls, the more discrepancies turn up. Dates that don't add up, interviews that jump over whole years, pictures where someone's shoulder is cropped from view. Closer you get to the truth, the quicker it begins running from you. A soft knock jolts her back to reality. Janelle. Christine hesitates before opening the door. Janelle's eyes are wary, curious. I heard you've been digging, Janelle says quietly. Mary called me. She's scared. Christine exhales. Good. She should be. Janelle steps inside, scanning the table covered in papers. You found something, didn't you? Christine nods. A name. Evelyn Harper Brown. She was one of us. Janelle stiffens. That name. I've heard it. Where? Years ago. Before the show. There were rumors. Kody married a wife in Utah he never informed anyone of. Church referred to it as unorthodox. Then she disappeared. He claimed she left. Nobody questioned him. Christine's stomach clenches. And you trusted him? Janelle's silence says enough. Every truth needs a witness. Question is who's still courageous enough to speak. They make their way to a small records building outside Flagstaff, dusty shelves stacked with forgotten archives. Clerk, an older woman with silver hair and piercing eyes, squints when Christine says the name. Evelyn Harper Brown, Christine says. Married in 2006. Do you have any records? Clerk pauses, then pulls out a thin, weathered file. Inside, one marriage certificate, one faded photograph. Christine's breath hitches. The woman in the picture is standing next to Kody, smiling weakly, a bouquet of white roses clutched in her hand. And wrapped around her neck is the very same necklace from the photo in the antique frame. Emblazoned across the top of the page, annulled by mutual consent. At the bottom, the date of annulment is typed just 3 weeks prior to the start of filming for TLC. Christine's voice shakes. He erased her just before they began to shoot. Clerk smiles quietly. Some people don't wish for ghosts in their tale. Wind stirs outside, blowing papers off the parking lot. Janelle collects them, but Christine hardly sees. Her gaze settles on a single page blown against her shoe, an address. Scribbled in blue ink, Evelyn Harper, care of Fair Canyon Wellness Center, Prescott. Prescott, she breathes. She's alive. When the ghost is revealed to be breathing, that's when the actual haunting starts. They ride in silence for an hour. The wellness center is at the outskirts of town, half-empty, ivy wrapping itself around broken windows. A weathered sign creaks in the wind. Christine's heart thudding as she enters. The receptionist looks up. Can I help you? I'm searching for someone. Evelyn Harper Brown. The woman pauses. We don't release patient names. Janelle flashes a sympathetic smile. We're family. Through a long pause, the receptionist leans closer. Room 214. End of the hall. But be gentle. She doesn't talk much. Christine walks slowly down the corridor. The floorboards creak beneath her shoes. The door marked 214, she hesitates, then knocks. A faint voice answers, "Come in." She pushes the door open and freezes. A woman sits at the window, hair silvered by years but face unmistakable. On her lap rests a scrapbook filled with newspaper clippings and photographs of the Brown family. She turns, eyes weary but bright. I wondered when one of you would finally come, Evelyn says in a quiet voice. Christine can't talk. All of the questions she planned disappear. Evelyn smiles weakly. You got my letter, didn't you? Christine's breath hitches. You sent it? I had to, Evelyn explains. Before he rewrites the rest of it. Sometimes the past is not about revenge, it's about recognition. Evelyn opens the scrapbook and touches a page covered in ancient photographs. Behind-the-scenes photos, early family gatherings, faces blurred and crossed out. They promised me the world, she whispers. Then they promised I never existed. Christine has to fight tears in her eyes. Why now? Because they're doing it again, Evelyn says. And this time they won't stop at erasing me. They'll erase you too. Before Christine can respond, the window rattles. Car door slams outside. Evelyn's expression hardens. He knows you're here. Christine rushes to the window. A black SUV idles by the curb, engine running. Evelyn closes the scrapbook. You need to go. Now. Come with me, Christine pleads. Evelyn shakes her head. It's too late for me. Christine stalls one final second, then makes a run for the door, holding the letter. She reaches the door, looks back, and the room is empty. Evelyn has vanished. Only the scrapbook is left behind, open on a photograph marked "The Day the Cameras Came." What if every truth you discover leaves behind a silence that wasn't there before? Christine stumbles out into the wind, her hair whipping back and forth. The SUV rounds a corner out of sight. In her shaking hand, she clutches the scrapbook and an added enigma. On the last page, written in bold new ink, 6 words glimmer in the light. He'll do anything to keep it buried. She doesn't see the tiny red dot flashing on the lamppost on the corner of the street. A camera, silently filming. Christine's hands continue to tremble as she heads back from Prescott, scrapbook on the passenger seat. Every page is heavier than the previous one, as if the truth carries weight. She keeps looking over her shoulder, half hoping that black SUV will show up. At home, she shuts every door, closes the blinds, and puts the scrapbook out on a desk lamp. Dozens of pages of photographs, receipts, handwritten notes, and bank statements, all converging to one conclusion: Kody's hidden accounts and payments made in Evelyn's name years after her purported annulment. Sometimes the deception doesn't die with the relationship, it continues to earn interest. Christine takes out her phone and calls a number she never thought she'd dial once more. "You still have someone in legal?" she asks. Janelle's voice returns, cautious. "Christine, what are you doing?" "I'm sick of being a part of someone else's play." It's time the true story comes out. A few hours subsequent, Christine sits across from Lisa, a reserved but astute attorney who's previously assisted other reality TV personalities in voiding NDAs. Lisa thumbs through the scrapbook deliberately, eyebrows furrowing. "Where did you get this?" "From someone who shouldn't be real," Christine replies. Lisa touches a page displaying the identical Flagstaff address attributed to a bank account. If this is legitimate, it would constitute fraud and contract breach with the network. TLC would have had to be aware. Christine's throat constricts. "You think they were involved?" Lisa locks eyes with her. If they whitewashed a wife to save the brand, they're not only in on it, they're partners in a lie. The truth doesn't merely ruin individuals, it finances the ruin of those who created it. That evening, Christine scans copies of the papers onto a secure drive and writes an email. Subject: "The missing wife, for legal review." However, before she can send it, her laptop screen goes out. Cursor hangs. Then a window. Delete files? Y/N. Her heart freezes. She slams the lid closed and cuts the Wi-Fi. Someone is monitoring. Moments later, her phone vibrates, an unknown number. She pauses, then picks it up. A voice she hasn't heard in years breaks the silence. "Christine." "It's me." She stiffens. "Kody." "You've been busy," he says quietly. "Visiting ghosts. Been messing with things you don't comprehend." Her voice shakes. "You wiped her out, didn't you?" Kody's voice takes on a darker note. "You think you know what's real? That woman was never a part of this family. Don't make us go through the muck." "Then why are you calling?" "Because if you don't stop," he says softly, "I'll make sure you disappear the way she did." The line goes dead. Christine sits in the darkness, phone vibrating in her hand. All her instincts tell her to flee. But she doesn't. Instead, she opens the scrapbook again and goes to the back. There's a concealed envelope taped on the inside. She rips it open. There's a court notice inside dated from several years back. Plaintiff: Evelyn Harper Brown. Defendant: Kody Brown. Case type: paternity and asset dispute. The word sealed is stamped in red across the front. When a file is sealed, it's not because it's false, it's because it's too true. She calls Lisa again. "We're going to court," she says, her voice steady now. "Not just for her. For all of us." Days later, the world learns of it through a single leaked headline. Exclusive: Christine Brown sues Kody to court, secret marriage scandal to be revealed. TLC denies involvement in a statement. Kody vanishes from the public eye. And Christine, she's thrust into the midst of a storm. The day of the first hearing, she enters the courthouse with a ring of flashbulbs. Protesters carry signs. "Justice for Evelyn." "Stop TLC lies." Lisa leans forward and whispers, "You're going to open Pandora's box. But once out, you can't shut it." Christine smiles. "Good. The truth doesn't belong back in the box anyway." In her seat inside, she waits. Kody over the aisle doesn't meet her eye. The judge appears. Cameras are forbidden, but someone's taping anyway. Lisa stands up. Your Honor, we will establish the defendant arranged to erase an honest marriage, forged financial records, and hid a woman's identity for TV profits. Courtroom stirs. Kody's attorney smirks. And in that moment, Christine hears Evelyn's words ring within her. They'll erase you too. She breathes, calm and unafraid. Not this time. Truth is a weapon. But only the courageous know how to wield it. Courtroom is colder than Christine had anticipated. The air stings, clinical, as if truth had lain in wait for years to breathe. Cameras are not allowed, but she can still sense the red glow of unseen lenses pointed her way, the world's eyes, hungry for theater, desperate for the next headline. Kody remains rigid across the aisle, arms crossed, jaw clenched. He resembles less of the idolized patriarch of yesterday and more of a man trapped by his own history. Next to him, Robin holds on to his arm, muttering something he alone can understand. Lisa whispers near Christine. When I present the DNA evidence, don't blink. Let them witness your commitment. Christine nods. He taught me to remain quiet. But silence is his language, not mine. The bailiff shouts order. Papers rustle. Then Dr. Hannah Lee, a geneticist, comes forward as the first witness. She sets a folder on the table, her face impassive. Dr. Lee, Lisa starts, can you verify if Exhibit D, the DNA test, was performed according to standard procedure? Yes, ma'am. The samples were authenticated and tested by an independent lab. No outside tampering. And whose DNA did you examine? Courtroom leans in. From Mr. Kody Brown and a woman named Evelyn Harper Brown. Truth has a heartbeat, and it's louder than any gavel. Kody's attorney stands up immediately. Objection. That is immaterial to the present claim. Lisa's voice turns cutting. Your Honor, the defense has spent years claiming Evelyn Harper did not exist. This test will demonstrate otherwise. The judge gives a nod. Proceed. Dr. Lee opens the folder and pushes a single sheet out. Results indicate a 99.8% chance that Mr. Brown is fathered by Evelyn's daughter, born in 2009. Courtroom bursts apart. Gasps spread through the room. Porters scramble to write. Robin goes white. Kody bangs his fist on the table. This is a lie. I never, Christine interrupts him. You testified that she was gone, Kody. That she never existed. He glares at her, his eyes seething. You don't know what that woman did. Lisa approaches him. Then explain. Explain to the court what she did that led you to erase her. He doesn't reply. Instead, he lowers his eyes, grumbling something to himself. For the first time, Kody Brown appears small, delicate, as if the truth finally pierced his kingdom of denial. The moment a deceiver is out of words is when the truth starts speaking. Lisa turns to the judge. We have correspondence between the network's legal department and Mr. Brown's private attorney discussing the removal of a participant from show contracts. The dates match the same period Evelyn filed for custody and financial support. The judge's expression hardens. You're saying the show deliberately erased a legal wife to protect ratings? Yes, Your Honor. Christine observes as Kody's mask disintegrates. Robin clutches his hand, whispering hysterically, Don't say another word. But Kody says it. You think I wanted this? He yells, voice breaking. They forced me to decide, her or the show. They told me she didn't fit the story. They told me she'd destroy everything. Lisa's tone is firm. So you chose fame over family. He gazes at Christine, shaking. I chose survival. Even monsters believe they're victims in their own story. Courtroom falls silent. The judge exhales, rubbing her temples. This case just moved from personal to criminal. I'm ordering an internal review and subpoenaing TLC's production records. Kody sinks into his chair, defeated. Christine's heart races. This is the moment, the one Evelyn never lived to see. But before she can breathe, the door at the back of the courtroom opens. Everybody turns. A woman enters in dark glasses, accompanied by security. Gasps run through the room again. She is the identical woman in Evelyn's photographs, just older. Christine rises, caught breath. Lisa whispers, "It can't be." The woman takes off her glasses. "My name is Evelyn Harper Brown," she says quietly. "And I was never dead." The whole courtroom erupts into chaos. Some ghosts do not haunt you, they walk right back into your life. Evelyn approaches the judge, extending a sealed brown envelope. "This contains my medical records, my child's birth certificate, and a letter Kody wrote to me when I vanished. He bribed me to keep silent. But the money has vanished. And I am finished hiding." Kody's attorney leaps to object, but the judge bangs her gavel. "Enough!" Courtroom is silent once more. Evelyn glances toward Christine. "Thanks for finding me," she whispers. Tears well up in Christine's eyes. "You found yourself." And for the first time in years, both women, obliterated, betrayed, silenced, finally bask in the same light. The truth didn't survive the fire. Became it. The judge continues court until further notice. Porters converge on the steps outside. Cameras engulf the area. Inside, Kody bows his head. No words, no control remaining. Christine stands in the courthouse doorway, turning back for one last look. "You constructed your kingdom on deceit," she mutters. "Let's see how well it burns now." When the truth that is buried struts back into the room, all lies start to choke. Before we go on, say it in the comments. If you found the individual the world believed was dead was alive, would you reveal them or guard the secret? The courtroom is vacant now, but the reverberation of what has occurred still resonates in the walls, as if truth itself will not depart. Cameras outside wait, the air charged with queries. Christine sits in the front pew, smiling, looking at the vacant witness stand where Evelyn appeared just hours prior. She still can't believe it. Evelyn alive. Breathing. Speaking. Telling the world that she was silenced, bought off, and buried beneath a network's obsession with image and control. The headlines are already everywhere. The secret wife returns. Sister wives scandal shakes TLC. Evelyn Harper Brown breaks silence after 10 years missing. Kody Brown facing federal investigation over fraud and coercion. Truth spreads faster than wildfire when it's been starved of oxygen. Christine scrolls through her phone, thousands of messages flying by, reporters, fans, lawyers, even old friends who vowed they'd never speak again. But one message catches her eye from an unknown number. "Meet me where it started." It's midnight. No cameras. She knows who it's from. Evelyn. That evening, Christine drives along Flagstaff's deserted streets, headlights slicing through mist like memories searching to return home. The old safe house remains on the outskirts of town, boarded windows, shattered porch light. Evelyn is already waiting, leaning against her car, arms crossed. The animosity between them hangs in the air but is quiet, like two storms colliding and discovering they were both wind all along. "I thought you were dead," Christine states. Evelyn breathes. "That was the plan." "You let everyone believe I had to," Evelyn cuts in. "Kody gave me no choice. He threatened to ruin me. He had the network in his pocket. They promised him protection, fame, and money if I was gone." Christine's eyes slit. "So you fled." "I survived," Evelyn corrects. They remain sitting in silence for a minute, the only noise cicadas in the dark. Evelyn dips into her coat pocket and produces a flash drive. "It's all here. Contracts, erased video, legal briefs, evidence TLC knew. They didn't want to destroy the fifth wife because she didn't fit the image." Christine regards the drive. "Why are you giving me this?" Evelyn smiles faintly. "Because you're not afraid to burn the truth anymore. When courage meets evidence, power finally starts to shift." The next morning, Christine and her lawyer Lisa sit in a cramped office, reviewing the files. They show years of payments funneled through shell companies, scripts rewritten to omit Evelyn's name, and even internal emails between producers calling her a liability. Lisa gazes up, ashen. This isn't a scandal, it's criminal. Christine slowly nods. Then we take it to the press. But they do not have time. Lisa's phone rings. An unknown number for the second time. She answers, and her color goes. They're after us, she breathes. The networks filed an injunction. They're suing for breach of contract and slander. Christine's tone turns cold. So they want to silence us once again. All empire strikes back at the worst possible moment. The next week is a catastrophe. TLC producers panic to regain control of the story. They send out cut-up clips from past episodes attempting to paint Evelyn as unstable, saying her vanishing was voluntary. Fans are split online, half side with Evelyn, half with the Browns. But Christine's fans, the ones who saw her rebuild her life, stand by her. #Justice for Evelyn is trending for 5 consecutive days. Streaming networks beckon, documentary makers inquire, and all at once the truth isn't merely a scandal, it's a crusade. But Evelyn maintains her distance. Celebrity never fit her, she desires closure, not lights. Yet Christine feels something unspoken in her, a more profound pain than the courtroom uncovered. One night, Evelyn at last confesses it. There's something you don't know, she says softly. When I left, I wasn't alone. Christine's heart is pounding. You mean your daughter? Evelyn shakes her head. No. There was another child. Kody's. Truth doesn't end where you think it does, it multiplies. Christine can hardly catch her breath. You mean he has another? Yes. A son. I kept him in hiding. Changed our names. But they've tracked us down now. Her voice cracks. He's been receiving messages, threats. They know where we are. Christine takes her hand. Then we defend him. We defend both of you. Evelyn nods, her eyes filled with tears. It's too late to defend. Now we fight. They sit in the blackness, a car engine roaring to life outside. Headlights beam through the window. Christine's heart accelerates. Evelyn rises. They're here. The door shakes. Someone attempts to open it. Christine edges toward the window, softening. Behind me. A voice is heard outside. Christine, open the door. It's me, Kody. The noise stops her in her tracks. Sometimes the devil doesn't knock. He calls you by name. What if the one you outed returned, not to say sorry, but to complete what they started? Before we dig deeper, tell me in the comments, if the person you outed for cheating came to your doorstep at midnight, would you answer it or hide? The knocking intensifies. Every thud vibrates the thin walls of the safe house as a countdown. Christine glances at Evelyn. The fear on her face is genuine, but under it lies something deeper. Resolve. Kody's voice filters through the openings in the door. You can't hide forever. You opened this up, Christine. You involved everyone in your mess. Christine steps closer, her tone calm. This was never my mistake. It was your secret. Evelyn grabs her arm. He's dangerous in a corner. Christine nods. So am I. Lisa arrives in her car just in time. As she dashes toward them, holding a folder. Don't open the door, she puffs. The injunction failed. The judge signed off on the leak order, we can go public. Christine blows out her breath in shock. You mean yes? Press hears everything. The truth goes on the air in 24 hours. When justice gets its wind at last, fear becomes powerless. Crash cuts them off, glass breaking. Kody smashed the side window, reaching through to unlock the door. Christine grabs a heavy lamp and clutches it tight, her heart thundering in her chest. Kody bursts in, eyes crazy, desperation etched on his face. You think this is fair, he shouts. You're ruining my family. My reputation. Evelyn advances. You ruined your family when you erased it. He spins to face her, voice shaking. You left me no other option. The network wanted a nice story, no mess, no shattered woman. Her eyes cut into him. "And you agreed to erase me for ratings? It wasn't meant to go that far," he yells. Christine interrupts. "You mean the bribes, the counterfeit contracts, the DNA rejection? How far did too far go for you, Kody?" He doesn't respond. His rage dissolves into silence, the kind that weighs more than shouting. Evelyn edges forward a little. "You recall the letter you wrote? The one you had me sign when I left? I've kept it." Cody's face blanches. "You wouldn't." "Oh, I would." She pulls out the folded letter from her jacket, Cody's admission, his agreement to buy her off for vanishing. Lisa takes it all down calmly on her phone. The deadliest weapon isn't a gun, it's evidence. Kody advances, attempting to take the letter, but Christine pushes him away. "Don't," she yells. "It's over, Kody. You can't shut everybody up forever." He staggers backward, chest panting, eyes glassy. "You think they'll believe you? You think anyone cares about truth anymore?" Christine meets his eyes. "Perhaps not everyone. But the ones who do are enough." The air changes. For a moment, the rage in Cody's eyes dissipates and is replaced by regret. Then, almost whispering, he says, "You don't get what it's like to lose control of your own story." Christine's voice loses its hardness. "I do. You just lost yours to the truth. Justice doesn't always look like it's been won. Sometimes it looks like exposure." Kody drops his hands, defeated. The man who was once the unassailable head of a family dynasty now resembles a ghost. He shoots Evelyn one final glance. "You were never supposed to come back," he grumbles. Evelyn speaks softly. "You were never supposed to erase me." Lisa intervenes between them. "Kody Brown, you are in legal notice for obstruction, fraud, and emotional coercion. I recommend you phone your attorney." Kody glances around, aware that no one is left to shield him. Not Robin, not TLC, not the empire he constructed on dominance. He slowly turns toward the door. "You will be sorry," he mutters. Christine shakes her head. "No. I will finally sleep." He departs, slamming the door shut behind him. The resulting silence is akin to oxygen being returned to a room that had been strangling for years. Christine falls into a chair, drained. Evelyn gets up and moves toward the window, seeing Cody's car disappear into the darkness. "Do you think it's really over?" she says quietly. Christine looks at the flash drive in her hand. "No. It's just beginning." Lisa smiles weakly. "Then let's make sure the world hears it right. The dying of a lie is never silent. It's the birth of a story finally told." The news networks blow up the next morning. All channels run snippets of leaked video, signed documents, and bank statements. Cody's empire crumbles in real time. TLC puts the show on hold indefinitely. Social media goes wild with shock. Christine and Evelyn sit side by side, seeing it happen. For the first time, they are not afraid. They are free. But amidst the destruction, there is one message on Christine's phone, an email with no return address. One sentence: "You exposed him, but you didn't expose them all." Christine glances at Evelyn, confusion turning to fear. "Who sent this?" Evelyn speaks softly. "The network isn't done. Just when you believe the fire's extinguished, somebody's been waiting to strike another match. When you tear down one secret, how many more will pop up in its place?" Before we proceed, let me know in the comments, if the truth that you struggled for was really only half of the tale, would you continue digging or finally give up? The world believes it's over. Newsreaders quote Christine's name with descriptors such as courage, revelation, and whistleblower. Hashtag Justice for Evelyn trends on all platforms. Cody's silence becomes a confession of its own. But in the back of the ovation, the machine continues to churn. Christine sits at her kitchen table, morning light spilling over half-finished cups of coffee. Her phone rings, an email. No sender. No title. Only an attachment. A video file. She pauses, then hits play. The video opens on a dark office, a man's voice warped. "She was supposed to go away," he says. "Not come back, not speak, not remember. We had an agreement." A second voice cracks back, tighter, feminine. "What about Kody?" "Taken care of. His silence is included in the package." Christine stiffens. That voice, the woman, she recognizes it. Lisa enters. "What's wrong?" Christine backs up the tape, starts playing it again. The feminine voice commands the room. Lisa's face goes white. "That's..." Christine slowly nods. "That's you." Lisa backs away. "Wait, Christine, that's not... It's been edited," Christine interrupts. "Edited or not, why does your voice sound like you were a part of it?" Lisa breathes shakily. "'Cause I was. At the start." Christine's gut plummets. "What do you mean at the start?" Lisa avoids her gaze, a look of guilt written across her features. "When I began as your attorney, I was working for them, the network. They desired you contained. Not destroyed. Just controlled. They provided me documents, stories, made-up witnesses. They assumed if I guided you in the right direction, you'd never look beyond Kody." Christine's hands shake. "You manipulated me?" "Initially, yes," Lisa whispers. "But then I realized the reality, what they did to Evelyn, to you. That's why I defected." Christine looks at her, speechless for an uncomfortable length of time. Then she is whispering, "You defected or you got afraid?" Lisa doesn't reply. Truth doesn't liberate everyone. Some people drown in it. Evelyn comes into the room, cradling her phone. "Christine, you need to see this." On the TV screen is a live shot, a reporter outside TLC's headquarters. "Sources confirm," the anchor continues, "that the network board is opening up a private probe into allegations of doctored contracts and covered-up footage involving sister wives. But sources indicate the actual tale involves a secret fifth participant who might have been behind the scenes all the time." Christine's heart misses a beat. "Secret fifth participant," she whispers again. Evelyn scowls. "They're not discussing me." Camera cuts to a shadowy individual leaving the building. Sunglasses, overcoat, hidden face. The caption states, "Executive producer and silent partner in Brown Family Holdings." Lisa breathes. "That's Robin." Christine's eyes grow wide. "No, it can't be." Christine rises, voice trembling but firm. "Then we destroy the machine." Lisa furrows her brow. "How?" Christine's eyes flicker with determination. "By creating something real. Not another show. A documentary, our version. No scripts, no edits, no lies." Evelyn nods slowly. "We'll call it what it really is." Christine meets her eyes. The untold story of life after polygamy. For a moment there's silence, then thunder crashes again as if the universe itself approves. Lisa smiles faintly. "You realize this means war?" Christine smirks. "Good. I'm tired of peace." They all laugh, but beneath that laughter is steel. A quiet, defiant kind of courage that only survivors carry. Sometimes breaking free isn't the end of the story, it's the beginning of a new one. Outside, lightning flashes, and for a split second, Christine catches her reflection in the window. But behind her reflection stands someone else. A woman's face. Older. Familiar. The season 0 photo, the missing producer Rachel. But when Christine turns, the room is vacant. If Rachel's been deceased for years, who gave them the box last night? What if the actual story behind the secret wife no one knew about is still in progress off camera? Would you watch the actual season 0? Night descends in earnest over the mountain town. The house is quiet, but Christine lies awake. Every groan of the hall feels like footsteps, every sigh of the wind is like some mouth calling her name. The season 0 box remains unopened in the corner, its damp edges from the storm-tossed night. Evelyn had pleaded with her to leave it closed, but curiosity has ever been Christine's bane and strength. She sits at the table, the single lamp casting long shadows across the wood. One tape lies separate from the rest, sun-marked except for a faint smudge, fingerprints. Christine slides it into the old player Rachel left inside the box. The screen flickers. Static. Then a voice. Faint. Familiar. Christine, if you're watching this, it means they never stopped. Christine's heart pounds. The vision clarifies, it's Rachel. Younger. In the exact same room Christine finds herself in now. They instructed me to make the show about faith, Rachel says, her glance cutting off screen. But it wasn't about faith. It was about control, proving that humans can be shaped, edited, and redefined. Camera jerks. Figure shifts in the background. Rachel speaks in a lower tone. Don't believe the contracts. Don't believe anyone who tells you they want to help you tell your truth. They just want your silence. Then the screen flickers. Rachel's voice warps. A new frame cuts in. Same room. But now, years wiser, Christine looks and sees herself, sitting in Rachel's very spot. Her breath catches. What the video zooms in on her face, her current face. Not the past. Not stored. Christine yanks back, her heart racing. The video keeps going, her voice, her movements, her present attire, as though someone had been taping her from behind the walls. She stands up, ripping out the plug. The screen flickers dark. The past isn't past, it's observing you recall it. A few seconds later, Evelyn bursts in. What's going on? Christine gestures toward the empty screen. It was showing me here. Tonight. How could it? But just as she is about to finish, Evelyn's phone vibrates. She glances at it and freezes. Text. No number. No name. Just the words, stop watching. Start running. Evelyn's eyes go wide with fear. Christine asks quietly, do you think it's Kody? Evelyn shakes her head. No. It's from Rachel's account. Lisa comes in through the door. The network just filed an injunction. They're asserting ownership of the tapes, and they've sent someone to confiscate them. Christine reaches for the box. Then they'll have to catch us first. They take off into the night, rain pounding down, headlights slicing through the gloom as they fly down the mountain highway. Behind them, far-off sirens moan, but it's not the police. It's the sound of something ancient. The road curves. Lightning flickers, and for one brief instant, Christine catches sight of her own reflection in the rearview mirror. Only she's not alone. In the back seat behind her sits Rachel, silent, staring straight ahead. Christine slams the brakes. Car skids. She looks back, the seat is empty. Evelyn screams, "What is going on?" Christine grips the wheel, her voice trembling. We're not just fighting them anymore, we're fighting what they created. Every story leaves behind a ghost, especially the ones that were never meant to end. The camera, if it can be imagined, pans up. The storm rages over the mountains, showing for a moment only the neon sign in front of the old TLC studio. Now filming Sister Wives Season 0. If the show was finished, then who's still shooting the next season? If you found out the story was still being filmed, not by humans but by the past itself, would you destroy the tapes or press play one final time? Morning light breaks through the clouds like forgiveness itself. After weeks of hiding, fleeing, and battling ghosts, real and imagined, Christine at last comes to a standstill. They arrived in Utah, where it had all started. The mountains loom like sentinels, the air once more is clean. For the first time in years, Christine isn't in front of the camera. She isn't acting. She's living. In a cramped cabin, the Season 0 tapes rest in neat stacks on the wooden table. Dusty. Quiet. Impotent. Evelyn, tougher now, fires 3 cups of coffee. Lisa stands beside her, a faint smile easing her features. They lived through the flames and somehow, they made it through. Christine goes out onto the porch, one of the tapes clutched in her hand. The tape is labeled, Pilot, Family Begins. She rubs her thumb over the worn letters. So this is where it began, she breathes. Lisa comes to stand beside her. And this is where it ends. Christine nods. She lays the tape on a level rock, lights a match, and the fire consumes it, slow, orange, absolute. The others follow one by one. Plastic disintegrates, the smoke swirls up into the air, and with it, all the lies, the manipulations, all the tears once recorded on film at last fade away. Freedom isn't always about battling the story. Sometimes it's about wrapping it up. Evelyn looks at her. So what now? Christine smiles gently. Now we tell the truth our way. She switches on her laptop. A new page flashes on the screen. Title, Breaking Free, The Untold Story of Life After Polygamy. Lisa laughs. You're actually going ahead with it? Christine nods. Yes. Not a show. Not a network contract. Just real stories from real women. No scripts. No cameras. Just truth. Evelyn leans in, fingers flying to type out the first words. This is not the story of what we lost. It's the story of what we found ourselves. They all grin. Side, the final flame falters. The smoke dissipates into the blue morning sky. And in that quiet, something lightens, not just the burden of their history, but the grip it had held over them. Far away, in some forgotten editing suite, the monitors that had once flickered with their lives go dark, one by one. No more hum of background. No more red lights of recording. Just peace. Christine closes her eyes and takes a deep breath. For the first time in decades, the air feels hers. Every empire does eventually burn. But sometimes from its ashes women rise, not as tales but as survivors. She gazes out toward the horizon and mouths to herself, They captured my agony. Now I shall write my liberty. Her words disappear on the wind as the last title dissolves into light. The secret wife no one knew about, the truth finally told. Each tale comes to an end, but liberty, that's where the next one starts. If you could incinerate one page of your history and begin anew, would you? Tell me in the comments section below what freedom is to you. 'Cause sometimes free